4 months now, many people have assumed that Donald Trump's sudden embrace of crypto is all about Bitcoin, a strategic Bitcoin reserve, pro-crypto speeches, campaign promises that sound like they were written for crypto Twitter. But what if that assumption is completely wrong? What if Trump's crypto strategy has very little to do with Bitcoin, and instead is about something much bigger, something far more traditional? What if crypto is being used as a tool to protect and extend the power of the US dollar? That question has left investors deeply divided. Is this real crypto adoption? Or is the crypto industry being quietly captured by political interests and state power? Today we're going to break it all down, step by step, and expose what's really happening behind the scenes. Before we go any further, a quick disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor, and nothing in this video is financial or investment advice. This is purely educational content intended to analyze how crypto, especially stable coins, may be used to strengthen the US dollar. Now, with that out of the way, let's begin. At first glance, the US dollar still looks untouchable. It currently accounts for about 56% of global currency reserves, far ahead of the euro, which sits at roughly 21%. On the surface, that dominance looks secure. But once you zoom out, a very different picture starts to emerge. Over the past 2 decades, the dollar's share of global reserves has been slowly but consistently declining. Central banks around the world are diversifying into other currencies and assets. Global investors are hedging their exposure. And even America's closest allies are reducing their long-term reliance on the dollar. This process is known as de-dollarization. And while it's happening gradually, it represents a serious long-term threat to the United States. Why does this matter so much? Because dollar dominance gives America what economists call an exorbitant privilege. It allows the US to borrow at lower interest rates than almost any other country. It allows the government to run massive deficits without immediate consequences. And it allows the Federal Reserve to print money in times of crisis without instantly collapsing the currency. If that privilege erodes, the consequences are severe. Higher interest rates, rising inflation pressures, more expensive debt servicing, and a much weaker position on the global stage. This is not a theoretical risk, and it's something Donald Trump has been openly worried about for years. Trump has repeatedly described the US dollar as the strongest and most beautiful currency in the world. To him, the dollar isn't just money. It's leverage, economic leverage, geopolitical leverage, sanctions leverage. The US dollar is what allows America to impose financial penalties, restrict trade, and influence global behavior without firing a single shot. So when confidence in the dollar starts to weaken, it stops being just an economic issue. It becomes a national security issue. That raises a critical question. In a world that is becoming increasingly digital, borderless, and crypto-native, how do you reinforce dollar dominance? The instinctive answer might be to fight crypto. Regulate it into submission. Slow it down. Control it. But that isn't the strategy we're seeing. Instead, the strategy appears to be something far more subtle and far more effective. Absorb it. And that's where stablecoins come in. Stablecoins are cryptocurrencies pegged to fiat currencies, and overwhelmingly they're pegged to the US dollar. Here's the key point that most people underestimate. Stablecoins are already doing what banks, payment processors, and legacy systems like SWIFT simply can't do efficiently anymore. They move instantly. They settle globally. They operate 24/7 without weekends or banking hours. And they bypass outdated financial rails that were designed decades ago. Today, more than 99% of all stablecoins are dollar-backed. And roughly 80% of stablecoin usage happens outside the United States. That means millions of people across Africa, Asia, Latin America, and the Middle East are effectively using digital dollars instead of their local currencies. They're not opening US bank accounts. They're not interacting with the Federal Reserve. They're not relying on correspondent banks. They're just using stable coins. This is dollar dominance exported digitally at massive scale. And once you understand that, Trump's crypto strategy starts to make a lot more sense. Now we arrive at the most controversial piece of this entire puzzle. In late 2024, a DeFi protocol called World Liberty Financial launched, with direct and highly visible ties to the Trump family. Its co-founders include Trump's sons, and Trump himself is listed as a co-founder emeritus, meaning he holds influence without an official operational role. Then, in early 2025, World Liberty Financial launched its flagship product, $1. $1 is a dollar-backed stablecoin fully backed one-to-one by US Treasury bills, dollar deposits, and cash equivalents. In practical terms, $1 is a tokenized version of the US dollar. Every time $1 is issued or used, the backing assets, mainly treasury bills, have to be purchased. That means more demand for US government debt. Crypto usage directly supporting the US Treasury. Within just a few months of launch, $1 exploded to a market cap of $2.7 billion. To understand how unusual that is, consider this. It took Tether, the largest stablecoin issuer in the world, nearly 4 years to reach a $2 billion market cap. $1 did it in under 90 days. So how did that happen? The answer lies in a single, massive transaction. A UAE-based investment fund called MGX used $2 billion worth of $1 to invest in Binance. This became the largest investment in a crypto company ever made, and the largest transaction ever settled using a stablecoin. That one deal instantly inflated USD1 supply, handed World Liberty Financial billions of dollars worth of assets to manage, and massively increased its treasury-backed reserves. Since stablecoin issuers earn yield on treasury holdings, this alone could generate tens of millions of dollars per year. Unsurprisingly, critics immediately labeled this a massive conflict of interest. Supporters called it innovation. Opponents called it capture. But the story doesn't end there. Because shortly after, regulation entered the picture. In 2025, the United States passed the Genius Act, a landmark piece of stablecoin legislation. This law strictly limits who can issue stablecoins. It requires stablecoins to be fully backed by dollars or short-term US treasuries. And it forces foreign issuers to comply with US regulatory standards if they want access to US markets. The effect of this legislation is clear. As stablecoins grow, demand for US government debt grows alongside them. JP Morgan estimates that the stablecoin market could reach $3 trillion by 2028. That's potentially trillions of dollars parked in treasury bills, helping to suppress yields and lower borrowing costs for the US government. This is not accidental. It is strategic. So what are we really witnessing here? On one side of the equation, crypto is gaining legitimacy. Institutions feel safer entering the market. Regulatory clarity reduces scams and fraud. Infrastructure becomes more robust and scalable. But on the other side, something fundamental is changing. Politicians are launching tokens. Governments are accumulating Bitcoin. Decentralization is being compromised. Crypto is aligning itself with state interests and monetary policy. This no longer looks like a financial rebellion. It looks like integration into the existing system. And that brings us to the core question. This isn't Bitcoin versus the dollar. It's crypto being used to extend dollar dominance into the digital age. For some, that's a huge win. It brings adoption, stability, and mainstream acceptance. For others, it represents a betrayal of crypto's original ideals: decentralization, neutrality, and independence from state power. But one thing is undeniable. Crypto is no longer outside the system. It is becoming part of the system. Whether that future excites you or deeply concerns you depends on why you entered crypto in the first place. So now I want to hear from you. Is this real crypto adoption? Or is the industry being quietly captured by political power? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.